Okay, so in this video we'll go through how we activate our cards and actually attack with them and defend with them. So in the last video we looked at the first phase of a player's turn, which was just laying down cards. Now in the second part of a player's turn, they can then choose to actually activate the cards and attack with them. So in this case, it was the water deck's player turn, so my opponent's turn, and they played for themselves a perfect verb like this. Okay, and you can see we've got this sort of water elemental here who's very powerful. You can have a look at the top numbers. So this is when these attack and defense numbers at the top become important. That tells us how much damage they're going to do. Now the water deck's got lots of powerful attack cards, but they haven't got a great amount of defense. So these are in play on our battlefield, and the opponent then says, right, I'm going to activate. Now you can only activate one card or group of cards in your turn. So in this case, this player is going to activate their water elemental verb, and it goes along with the perfect. Obviously this creature is wielding this rather fancy scimitar, cutlass, something like that. And this is when we need to pay attention to how much attack they do. So to activate these cards, the first thing you need to do is say their power words. So their power words are the grammatical features at the bottom. So here we have a perfect verb. So to activate these cards together, the player will need to write down, or say, depending on how you're playing it, a perfect verb. Now, this may not have been the best one to choose because perfect verbs are interesting in the best of circumstances. Now, it doesn't specify which perfect verb, whether it's past tense or present tense in this case, because we haven't got that additional support card. So the player can either give a past tense or a present tense perfect verb. So to activate those cards, they will need to do that. So let's think of a perfect verb. So he had walked. And there I have my perfect verb. Had walked, in this case, in the past tense. I don't really need that pronoun, but it's quite useful to say it in sentences to see how it works. So I've activated that with had walked. Now the opponent, in this case me with my forest deck, can choose to defend against this. So the attack that's coming at me, to work out how much attack power the cards have, is you count up the number in the blast symbol on each card. So in this case we're going to have an attack power of 12 and 5. So these cards together are going to do 17 damage to me. So if I don't defend against this, I will lose 17 of my health points, which I don't really want to do because that's only going to leave me with 3 left. So I'm going to use one of my faithful summoned monsters to try and defend against this attack. So I'm going to send forward the only one that I've got in play, which is a noun. Now this is important, that you can only defend with cards that you already have out on the battle arena here. You can't then lay down more cards from your hand to help you defend. So I'm going to defend with my noun. So I have to activate that card as well, or else this monster's not going to listen to me. So we look at what the power word is I need to summon it with. So it's a noun. So I need to write down a noun. Let's choose a topical one here. I'm going to use the noun card. So I've activated that with a noun. So now, for when you're defending, you need to pay attention to the amount of defense a creature has, which is the number inside the shield symbol. So I have got 6 defense. Now, if you remember, the opponent, the water deck player, had 17 attack, and I have 6 defense. So obviously I can't defend against all of the attack coming at me, but I can lessen the blow a little bit. So what you do to work out how much damage you take is you subtract the amount of defense your creatures have from the amount of attack that's coming at you. So we would do 17 take away 6, which would give us 11. So your game could be quite good for mental math skills as well. So that means I take 11 damage. And that's coming straight at me. So I'm going to remove 11 of my health counters. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And that's, I've lost that health now. That's gone from me. And I'm now on, well, we can work it out. I should have 9 health left. At the end of an attack, or when you activate a card, they go into your discard pile. So you'll also need a little area where you can put discarded cards to the side like this. And same with these cards, they get discarded down like that. Okay, so that's the end of that player's turn now. You can see that they still have a card out there to defend with if it comes to that, and it's now my go. So but before that, this player draws up to 3 cards. Remember, they can only take 1 of the core cards in each draw. So they're going to take 1 and 2 support cards. So now their new one is an adverb, and they've just picked up a progressive support card, which would go to their verb. It is my go now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my phase 1 again, which is to lay cards. Now that's kind of messed me up a little bit because I was hoping that that noun would still be out there. So as you can see, I can't make any connect. I can play my core card by itself, and I can't connect anything to it. I can't connect the main or the past tense. So I'm going to leave that out there. It's my turn to activate, so I could attack with my adjective against their noun, but looking at the stats, I would only do 3 damage, so I'm going to leave that out there. It's quite a good idea to have some cards out to defend with as well. So I'm going to draw up and see what I get. So I got myself a verb. Okay, and now it's the opponent's turn. So they go through the same steps. They play any cards they want to from their hand. Now, they can play their core card by themselves, so they're going to play this adjective, which has got quite a nasty attack, but very little defense. And you play that there. And let's have a look at their support card. So they see they've got subordinate, which would have to go with the clause, and progressive card, which would have to go with the verb, neither of which they have out, so they can't play those cards. So now that's their first phase, they've played their cards. The second phase of their turn would be to activate, to try and attack with one of these cards. And I think they would attack with their adverb. They probably attack because they have such a large attack, such a small defense. So it's a good idea to get those out and attack with them. So they're going to attack. They've got 12 attacks, so we need to activate that card first of all. So we need to activate that card. We can see that it is an adverb. So I need to write an adverb down to activate the card. So let's think of an adverb, shall we? Well, let's do the one everyone always does, which is quickly. But you could have any other kind of adverb. So that's activated that card now, and they're going to attack with it. Obviously, I can't take that attack full on, so I'm going to need to use my adjective to defend against it. And so I'm going to need an adjective to defend, to activate my card. So you can see it's an adjective, so I'm going to need a word to activate that. Let's go with something very simple. Let's go big. My adjective is going to be big. Okay. So both cards have been activated. Now we compare the attack and the defense values of them. So we can see the attacking card has an attack value of 12. The defending card has a defense value of 6. So 12 take away 6 gives me 6. So I take 6 damage. Eek. It's not going very well for myself, even though I'm playing against myself. Oh dear. So I lose 6 health points. And the cards are then discarded, both of them that have been used. So now all I've got left is 3, whereas my opponent still has 12 attack. So it is once again my go. So let's see if we can actually do some damage to this card. Let's have a look at what we've got. So I have got a verb, which I'm going to play because it's a core card. And I can see here I have a past tense, which connects to a verb. So I can also play that and connect it to my verb, like that. So that's my first phase. I've played all the cards that I can. I'm then going to go on to my second phase, which is to activate these cards. And I think we've got to do some damage to the opponent here. So I'm going to activate my past tense verb like that. So I'm going to need myself a past tense verb. So let's go with an irregular one. Why not? Let's go with wrote. I wrote an irregular verb. So that's activated this pair. My opponent is going to choose to defend with a noun. So they will need to give a noun. Let's choose a different one this time. Why not go with rat? Because my opponent is a rat and he's beating me. So rat, both cards have been activated. So then we compare the attack and the defense value of each. So you can see I'm attacking with 10 plus 1. So my attack power is 11. Their defense power is 6. So 11 take away 6 gives me 5, which means the excess 5 go and damage my opponent. So we discard the cards and my opponent loses 5 health. Let me take those out. And you keep going like that, attacking and defending, playing cards until one player, it looks like me in this case, is reduced to 0 health points. They are the loser. The other person is triumphant as they have crushed their enemies in the ground. And that's the basic rules of how to play Battling Grammar. So in the next video I'll talk about different parts, so different kinds of cards. There are some kind of special cards that we haven't covered, such as clauses, which have got a special symbol here, and then there are these special abilities which I'll also go into. But thanks for watching, keep battling, keep grammariing, and have fun. See you next time.